Hey there, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is alphabet soup. What words are you spelling and spilling into your alphabet soup or quantum field of holography that becomes your reality? I was just blessed to spend time with a teacher and friend that my consciousness knows as Ptah, and I know the soul as Ptah because of the magnitude of consciousness and mind awareness that the soul holds. It's a match. And Ptah was an Egyptian god with a blue skull cap and a shroud with a pharaonic beard, and often has a staff. And when Ptah spoke, the primordial mound arose in Egypt. And from the primordial mound, everything that Ptah spoke was spoken from the heart, anahata, heart chakra, and the throat, vishuddha. There's a reason why certain chakras rest one upon the other. And the heart is the energy underneath the throat that we may speak from the higher organ of wisdom. There's wisdom in the brain, and there's great wisdom in the heart. And the heart is really honest, and it always tells you when things don't feel good. And we can even language around the heart. You know, I'm heartbroken. My heart has been crushed to dust and then made into toothpaste, and somebody brushed their teeth with it and spit it back out. You know, there are a lot of different ways we might speak of the heart as if it's foolish, but the heart is quite wise. It'll tell you, this doesn't feel good, this does feel good. And it tells you much quicker than the brain can tell you a thought of like, I don't know if this person is my friend, you know, or I don't know if this is the right job for me, or whatever that is. So it's a great intelligence, and it's a quick intelligence to let us know where our consciousness rests. We are all Ptah. You know, there's this awakening I had this past week around the Ptah in me, my own mind awareness, my own consciousness studies, and my own galactic understandings around what we speak is a reflection of our mind. And often as I study other cultures, I study their prayers, I study the way that they speak, and I speak in their tongue. And the reason I speak in their tongue is because when I understand their tongue, I'll understand the mind behind it. It's one of the things I teach in my classes. As we bow in reverence to the cultures we study, which we all are from my perspective, because not only do I not believe you only live once, I also don't believe that we have singular locality in one body at a time. I believe we have multi-locality. Heather Feather is actually multiple cultures and gender identifications and sexual identifications all at one time. You're just experiencing this reflection that she's reflecting in this video, in this paradigm, if you're watching this. So there's an alphabet soup. You know, I was thinking about eating alphabet soup, something that I don't do as an adult. Our soups need to be more serious. We get older, we can't be spelling stuff in our meal, you know. But I was thinking about the joys of that, of alphabet soup, and being able to spell things and find words. And our mind is like this soupy paradigm. The quantum field is like this soupy paradigm where there are quantum waves of probability. There are probabilities where a particle or a space-time location of a singular thing might be. But they're really just waves of probability. It could be in several points in space-time. And the consciousness, the alphabet soup, the words we put together, the letters we use to form our words, to speak our primordial mound into existence, that becomes what tells the quantum field of probability what type of particle to be in front of me. So, you know, I'd like to tell the particles today, thank you for every darkened hour. Thank you for every toxic person. Thank you for every poison. Thank you for the faith. Thank you, allies. Thank you, spirit guides. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, power animals. Thank you, ascended masters. Thank you, angelic seraphim. Thank you, the divine. Thank you, gods and goddesses, singularity, trinity, and all aspects therein. Thank you, allies. Thank you, allies. There are many. Thank you, Council of Light. Thank you, interlevel shamanic guides. Thank you, guides, for having faith in me to transmute, to, like a phoenix, burn to ash that trash and rise again, like the fiery bird I've always been, to bring the medicine. Thank you for your faith in my ability to take poison and know how to create antidote and how to become the medicine to that which I think breaks my heart, which is one of the strongest things, the strongest art my eyes have ever set a light upon, And so, what are you doing with your alphabet soup? What do your words speak of you? How do you talk to your body? Do you look upon your naked flesh and love this flesh costume? Do you love your organs? It's Qigong, a practice I do in which I get to love my guts. Love you, guts. Thank you, liver. Yes, small intestines, get it. Yum, Do you love it? Many, many, many flowers in the garden of life. And as a pansexual, I am infinitely able to find what is lovable, adorable, attractive, sexy, sensual, precious, valuable, just delightful in two-leggeds of all different shapes, sizes, and forms. And I put a lot of pressure on myself because I identify so monogamous, so long-term, or so one partner oriented when it comes to the concept of romantic relationship, to not have this adoring component of me, of my strong, big heart, to see the beauty in every entity I look upon. And, in this past week, I've also come to a realization that I don't have to put pressure on myself to not see the beauty in the world. It's a goofy ask. The world is beautiful. And it can be riddled with a lot of darkness. Thank you. Because without the darkness, without that darkened hour, without false evidence appearing real or fear, without the concept of poison, without somebody playing bad guy for me so that I can choose good guy, without a liar so that I might know the value of the light of truth, what is it? What is it that is actually causing me to use my free will choice to put my words together to speak well of my flesh costume, to speak well of my mind and the paradigm, to get it aligned, to speak well of my heart, sweetheart, sweetheart, sweetheart Heather Feather, you sweet little turtle dove of a being, you know I dear you, and my spirit. Certainly, there are those like Mama Mackie. May each of you be graced with such a tremendous example of how to human. There are those like Mama Mackie, and they certainly teach me through their choice of love and through their choice of medicine and through their choice of undivided attention, of devotion, of care, of what I like to call give a shit factor, Certainly, that is its own teaching. And it is often the jumbled letters, the misunderstood messages. It is the primordial soup of the quantum field, which is infinitely responding to what you're holding in awareness, because it is a hologram that is reflecting your consciousness. It is the most challenging teachers that in a lot of levels have become my greatest motivators, my greatest inspiration to go, I choose a lot of things, but I don't choose that. I don't choose to walk in those shoes. I see you have free will. I see you've chosen those shoes. I see that you may not even be choosing to be very self-aware of how you've chosen those shoes and what the impact is oh great influencer, as we all are, shaking the web. And I don't choose it. I don't choose that path in that way. And I do choose to keep my eyes open each and every day to see if there's any way in which I'm offering that particular bit of false evidence appearing real or poison to the web. Always cleanup work for Heather Feather to do. Always further for me to go, you know. I've had to acknowledge this past week how much I get in my own way to let love into my life. How much on an unconscious level I have greedily, thoroughly enjoyed my alone time with self. And on a lot of levels, although I think and have thought many times, partnership is what I want, I've almost, and it would be fair enough to say based on my creations, have more coveted the freedom to be alone and to not have to steward harmony and union with these divergent little creatures called human beings that are often so committed to being fussy things, you know. It's can be challenging enough to steward my own frequency. I'm a double fire elemental. It's certainly easy for me to get heated, you know, and I have a lot of sweetness too. So it's also easy for me to remember the nectar and calm down. And so it can be enough sometimes to just do that with myself. But I'm taking ownership more and more and more about what it is I'm speaking into existence. And I speak a lot about being a single person. I speak a lot about, you know, my parents are dead, my siblings have families. I'm kind of like, the holidays don't really mean anything anymore to me because I'm grown now. I'm nearly 50 and you know, I'm speaking. And I actually love the holidays as I'm spending some time with a dear friend that's come into my life. I'm realizing like that's not true. I actually really love the holidays. I want to get a pumpkin and I want to carve it and roast pumpkin seeds like we used to do with Mama Mackie when I was a kid. But I've missed the point of it without doing it with another, because it's watching another delight in it. As an empath, it is all of y'all's delights out there that are the sweet fruits I get to chew on from time to time, that are what really light up my insides, is feeling the joy that you're feeling in you. And I'm realizing that it's every word I utter is creating my reality. And there's a lot of things in there that aren't working for me. I have to work hard. And I understand I'm supposed to work smart, but we've also got to work hard because we've got to have a good work ethic, because we have to have integrity, and we've got to have a job because we've got to pay rent. And I don't have anybody to bail me out. My parents are dead. So, you know, there's a story that we're telling. What is your story about your finances? What is your story about your work? What is your, you know, what is your story about your relationships? Are they demanding? Do they ignore you? You know, what is the story that you're speaking into the cosmic web to be the reflecting point for you of your own consciousness? And is there any way, oh, sacred Ptah, that you might like to change the way that you arrange some of those letters that spill forth so easily, like a leaky faucet from your own mouth? Yeah, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of sentences that could use more consciousness and attention from me. And so might I do the very thing that will cause that to be, and that is to take action in the living tree and to take action around my speech, to be willing to have pregnant pause, to be willing to sit in space before I speak, to be willing to do the thing that I consider often. If I say this, am I adding value to the room? Before I speak, am I adding value to the room? As my mom would say, don't just talk just to talk. Make sure you're really saying something, you know? So today I invite and invoke in you the opportunity to consider your speech and what primordial mound you're shaking from the very fibers of existence to be that which you will learn from and teach. You can always join Rare Bird Medicine. And we do have classes coming up at rarebirdmedicine.com. Just click on the classes link. Amun.